the Aboriginal tent embassy was there. But the embassy is not just about a tent being there. It was a statement by Aboriginal Australia at the time saying we demand and we want equal rights. We want proper education, improved housing, better health, greater employment and training opportunities. We want facilities like medical services and legal services so our people can get better representation in the courts and in the legal system. This was early 1972. In fact, it was on the 26th of January 1972, Australia Day, and the young men and women at the tent embassy, they said, while white Australia is celebrating Australia Day, black Australia has to say, well, this is not a day of celebration because it marks the start of the demise of Aboriginal culture. The moment that English flag went up at Botany Bay on the 26th of January, many years earlier, that marked the beginning of the end of Aboriginal culture as it was known, traditional culture. Part of the town set aside for Aboriginal people. Narwan Village, as we know it now, used to be called the Mish, or East Armidale Reserve. Many Aboriginal people, local Aboriginal people, had association and connection with there. That was a reserve, out of town. In the old days it used to be called Dark Town. Things have changed a bit. I think we're fortunate here in Armidale. I think most Aboriginal people have a good, reasonably good standard of living. Certainly much different to what it was 50 years ago. At that time there was no houses out on the East Armidale Reserve. I think we've got about 30 out there now. The Save the Children Fund, they started a preschool and a soup kitchen out there, and that's turned into Minimbar School now. There was a lot of organisations that were set up to help support Aboriginal people in Armidale. To help get improvements in Aboriginal lifestyle, the local people had to do something, so local organisations were set up. There was an Aboriginal Mothers Club. I remember my mother and aunties and my grandmother, they were pretty involved in that. All the mothers got together to make sure that there was improvements for the kids in school and making sure they had school uniforms, and they supported each other because education was a very important thing to do. But I think in 1972 was the biggest social change that Aboriginal Australia ever saw. It was when Gough Whitlam was elected. The Labor government was elected, Gough Whitlam was Prime Minister, and he took notice of all those people at the tent embassy when they said, we want equality, we want land rights, we want health, education, employment, training, housing. We want legal services and medical services. So when he was elected, when Gough Whitlam was elected in 1972, that's exactly what happened. There was a big social reform and the conditions of Aboriginal people improved right across Australia.